Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very special episode of the Visionary Circle podcast. It's me and my lovely co-host, Mr. Sergio, and we're always trying to bring you guys guests that are doing something special, guests that are doing something different, guests that are visionaries, not just in the creative space, not as entrepreneurs and businessmen, but also people who want to give back, people who want to provide for the community. And our guest today is the epitome of somebody who has given their life to give back. We have Andre. He's the founder of Power of One Foundation. Welcome, Andre.
Man, thank you guys for having me. It's an honor to be here, man. Real blessing. So ask away, man. I'm so excited for this conversation. And I did a little research on your podcast. And
yes.
Yeah. And so I was like, I was really excited to come. So I was like, all right, this is going to be an interesting day.
100,000%.
Thank you for that, Andre. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for making it. It means a lot to us. I know you're a busy man. So whenever I see somebody who's in the line of giving, right? Somebody who likes to give back, that's usually not the first thing you resort to when you're growing up. Like you usually go into the realm of let's make some money. I want to provide. At what point in your life did you become someone who gives?
Well, that's a good question. For me, I was born into servitude. And so my grandmother started a business, Stockers Group Homes, taking care of the physically and mentally challenged. So when I was born, that's what I was born into. By the time I was 16, I had my own home taking care of 10 consumers. Right? So I grew up taking care of people that couldn't tell you if something was wrong with them. They couldn't express themselves, or either they had a disorder that would, or I wouldn't even necessarily say a disorder, just a limitation, a human limitation that wouldn't allow them to communicate effectively with us, quote unquote, so-called sane people. Right? But in that is where I learned the most love. Right? When you take care of the physically and mentally challenged, which people say is the lowest form of human society, right? Even lower than a drug addict.
Wow.
Yeah. It's, they're treated totally different. But when you look at the love, in that situation, you learn the most patience. You learn the true meaning of love, because when a person wakes up with a disability every day and they can't express something as simple as a stomach ache, right? But you have to have the connectivity to be able to sense that and connect that. You start to work different senses in your life. So for me, I grew up with a different lens. I know what it's like to care for someone. So when I got into the entertainment industry per se, or when I played sports, when everybody's after the money, I wasn't after the money. I was like, okay, how could I use my money to do this? Because I know that this is the greatest need. Or in my neighborhood, my grandmother always raised me. She's like, if you see a problem, fix it. Like, I was always told, you're not a follower, you're a leader. Always lead. So it really didn't make sense until we started. I owned my own record label right over here on Main and 4th Street in Santa Ana. So I was one of your pioneers of internet radio. So I was one of the first to have on-air personalities 24 hours a day online. DJ Fuse, that's on Power 106. He was one of my DJs at one time. DJ'd with me, was blessed to have him as well as other people. But here I am running a record label. I'm doing disc manufacturing. So you had disc makers, but I specialize in small runs. So I'm working for Interscope, all your popular DJ, Ice, DJ, you name it, from the IE to LA, I was most likely printing their stuff. And then I started these radio stations. I had an R&B station, I had a gospel station, and I ran a Latin station.
What?
Yeah, running 24 hours a day. So I had all these DJs in there, but I was doing all of this. And I ran this with my mom and my uncle, because I was first in a room like this, and I was making music, making noise. My uncle was like, man, I got to go to work. Shut up. So one day he got mad at me. He's like, dude, do you really want to do this? So he's like, go get a building. So I went and got a room like this, ended up losing it, of course, because I didn't know nothing about business, but it showed my family what I really wanted to do. So I ended up with the whole 3rd floor on Main and 4th, 106 and 4th. And so I had the whole 3rd floor running these radio stations. I had my recording studio. So I'm an artist under Warner Brothers at that time. So I'm got label deals. I'm producing my music, performing around the world. But while I was doing all of that, people would come upstairs and ask for food. And so I got Warren G, I got Egyptian Lover at my studio, just people, Dog Pound. I got all these celebrities, Roscoe, all these people recording at my studio, but yet people kept coming up and asking for food. Well, I always had food because number one, I had to cook 3 meals a day, taking care of that. We're running a record label, so that naturally feeds over. So I got a whole bunch of food there. So my mom was like, no, this is a sign from God. We're supposed to feed people. I'm like, no, I'm running a record label. I'm trying to be a star. I'm performing in Vegas. I'm performing at Mandalay Bay. I'm opening up for Jaheim, Tyrese, all these different people, man. And my mom's like, no, we got to go feed people.
Wow.
And so, man, we start out and going up to LA in the Wilmington area. I would go and pick up 5,000 pounds of food. But for me to get this 5,000 pounds of food, I had to sift through all of this bad food to take the good food out of this. And this is what they were giving people to give out, organizations. So I'm doing this. And so what you have to realize is that's when God started my mission. Because here I am, knee deep. I'm performing in Vegas. I'm also doing Days of Our Lives. I just got through doing Notorious, right? So I got a dressing room with my name on it. People are doing my makeup. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm on set. I'm on TV every day. And my mom's telling me, okay, you got to go do these distributions. So I'm getting this food and I got to pack this food. I got to put it in the boxes and then I got to go distribute it. So we start out at a little the community center over there off of 5th Street. Right. And so we're going over there to give out this food. And I'm just like, inside of my soul, I'm just wrestling. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I want to go over here, but I can't tell my mom no. And then I feel convicted on the inside because I'm like, okay, this is what you were born to do, but why are you fighting it? So I stopped fighting and I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it because I don't want to fight with my mom. Let me just do it. I'm still going to LA. I'm blessed to still be on TV doing what I want to do. And maybe I'll just be gone on a project and won't even have to come and do this. Yeah, God didn't make it that way. God made it sure that like, okay, I started picking up 5,000, then it moved to 10,000 pounds, then it moved to 20,000 pounds. Then we joined the Orange County Food Bank and we got put on a waiting list. But they were like, well, if you take this area, we'll let you in now. Well, it was the Delhi area. So in Delhi, and if anybody knows Delhi in Santa Ana, 10 years ago, you didn't want to be there, right? 13 years ago. But we took it because, I grew up on Myrtle. I grew up in Townsend. We're in the hood. Yeah. So we took it and we started feeding people. And so we got a little box truck and started picking up this food. But the thing about it is, from that point, just say 10 years down the line, I'm going to pick up 10 pallets of food, maybe 12 pallets of food, and now it's growing to 15 pallets of food. I didn't have a pallet jack or a forklift. So I would have to take each pallet off one by one and put it onto another pallet on the ground to move it. But then on top of that, I'd have to go make all these boxes. So if we're helping 500 people or 1,000 people, I got to make the box. And then I got like 15 items on the truck that I just had to offload. So now I got to put all 15 items in this box. And then I got to tape this box up. And then I got to put it back on the truck. I don't have no volunteers or no help. I got some family, but family stops helping you at maybe 7 o'clock. I don't get done until maybe 3 o'clock in the morning. And then I got to be at the distribution site at 6 o'clock in the morning. And then if I got to work at Days of Our Lives or something like that, then I got to be on set and do a whole 8 hours of set. So this is my life for like 10 years. And I didn't have no pallet jacks, nothing. And I'm doing this. And I'm like, why am I going through this torture? That's the way I was viewing it.
I'm a movie star. I'm doing in
I should be in
Vegas.
Hollywood right now.
Okay, so you're wrestling, but I kept doing it. But then there came a time when you start handing food to someone, but you're seeing the effect that you're having in that person's life. And then that turned into passion. Then I was like, okay, how many people can I feed? All right, well, okay, let's go. And man, so when the passion kicked in, and that's when my grandmother and everybody were like, okay, now you're doing God's work, right? I just didn't understand it, man. You have to mature to it. So God put me on a mission, man, and I'm so glad that I didn't walk away from it, right? I didn't do the human thing. Like, no, I ain't doing this. Because it's when my biggest blessings came. I got bigger movie parts. I've released bigger records. But like when it came to fast forward to the pandemic, right? We're in this pandemic. I'm sitting up here saying,
What pandemic? Honestly.
right. It was ages ago. Sitting up here, man, and I'm like, okay, let me go get food. I go get food, man. I got partnerships. Our nonprofit, we do Christmas events. We're known for that. We partner with schools, do food distributions, all that stuff. So I got a little school. I'm like, hey, I need to use your gym. Go get all this food. And it's over 20 pallets of food, put it into this gym. And I'm like, and I'm just running off of raw energy. The world's not even, they just shut it down, right? Man, I get to this school, got all this food in here, got my family helping me, some volunteers coming from the school. And so we're packing the food. I'm just moving in the spirit. And I'm like, oh, okay, I need to set up 10 stations. So I'll let the cars come in like this. I'm just setting it all up as I go on the fly. Man, it got to about 3 o'clock in the morning and I started just shaking in my boots because I went and picked up all this food and they trusted me with the food, but I didn't know if anyone was going to show up.
What if you got this food ready and no one eats it? That's another problem.
I got it in a jam. Okay, so there's hours of time that, there's codes, there's this. I just went off some raw energy, right? And so 3 o'clock in the morning hits, man, and I'm just a nervous wreck. I'm like, okay, wait, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, wow, right? Because now I done ruined this relationship. And if nobody comes, everybody's going to be like, shoot, the news might show up. Yeah. There's this guy from this foundation. He spoiled all this food. I start thinking the worst, man. So it gets about 5 o'clock in the morning. And, man, this little car rolls up to the black gate, shuts off its engine, and it's this old lady. And I'm like, she's like, food distribution? She can barely speak English. And I'm like, comida? I was like, sí.
What does comida mean?
What does comida mean? Oh, food. Eat,
okay.
eat.
Yeah.
Can I eat?
Yeah.
You just tested me like that. You did that.
I think he genuinely didn't know.
I really didn't.
He didn't.
Okay. So
I'm not Mexican.
Okay, cool. I was like, good test though.
No.
It was just because of our pre-conversation before this.
Yes.
So thank you.
But no. Good clarification.
So,
but yeah.
Thank you. So, man, she lines up. Then next thing you know, I got a 10-mile line. The rest is history from there. So we're the first to do drive-through distributions. One of the first. I'm not going to say the first because there was other people that had the same heart. We were just one of the first to really put it out there. So we get in, man, 10-mile line. I didn't realize people were coming in from side streets. It goes all the way from like First and Fairview all the way back to Euclid.
Whoa.
Right? And I'm like, whoa. So I'm in the street navigating. I get a phone. It's the police department. They're like, we're going to shut you down. Oh, snap. They're like, oh, no, you're not in trouble, but we want to partner with you. So then this is when you start to see community come together. You start to see how it's about to be orchestrated, right?
Wow.
So police department partners with me. Well, we're too big for that location because they're like, yeah, you have people fighting down here. You have kids that need to go to the restroom and their mothers don't want to get out of line because they've been waiting in your line for 2 hours to come and get food. Didn't know none of this demand was there. So, man, that's when the journey begins, though. They moved me from that school, moved me to the Santa Ana College. Santa Ana College, we outgrow that. Then they put us over at Main Place, right? So we're at Main Place Mall, but they're starting our line at Santa Ana College. So over there on 17th. So the police department would ride that line in all the way over to Main Place Mall. So we end up doing, close to 5,000 cars a day, right? Then we're over at the Orange County Fairgrounds. We're doing about 5,000 cars over there. So for the Costa Mesa area, Newport Beach people coming. So we have all those cars coming to us. And then I partnered with IKEA. So IKEA, we would go distribute the food there. And IKEA, that's when curbside came because I developed a curbside for people wanting to get food. And IKEA staff would then put the food into the cars for us. So we got IKEA doing the curbside. And then we got Calvary Church where we're doing distributions over there, but then people can go through and if they want to be prayed for, they can be prayed for at that time. Then I'm doing distributions in San Diego. So we have San Diego partnered with foundations out there. So got distribution out there. Then we're helping the farmers all up in Salinas and different things that we're distributing food out there. And then we're coming into LA. So we got about 10 to 15 distributions going on a week, right? But we had no money for this. From the moment that I started, I didn't start this with no money. I was like, okay, God, like, are you like, so here we are starting the beginning 2020 to 2021. Me and my partner, Shawnee, were sitting at home one day, man. We're looking at the computer. We literally for 3 hours watched donations come in, and we raised over $400,000 from the community. Gets me teared up just thinking about it. We watched the community fund us. Then on top of that, I came home one day, she's just crying, and I'm like, what are you crying for? She hands me an envelope. Well, it's an envelope for $250,000.
Oh my
from
God.
a donor that we still have not met to this day. Okay, then Angels.
This is all during the pandemic.
All during the pandemic. Then Angels baseball donates $20,000. Chargers football, Cemex. We get honored by the Mexican consulate. So then we start doing food distributions with all the consulates, Latin consulates, right? Then we start going into different Latin sectors because we started doing international aid into Mexico, right? Orphanages and schools and different things, and giving that support. So now I'm the padrino over different sectors, right? So I'm just like looking at this, and what you have to understand, between a black and brown war, how is a African-American gentleman supposed to come into the Latin community and really be able to serve, right? But for me, since I didn't see color, I never had that frame of mind. It was like, no, this has to get done. We're people, we bleed the same blood. But right now, we all need to unite. And that's what people saw. So we amassed over 800 volunteers.
Wow.
Fed 3 million people in 1 year. Did I do something special? No. I was one of many people that locked onto a vision and a purpose that was created by a higher purpose to fulfill a mission. Right? And so when you see the miracles happen in that, you cannot, you almost can't do anything else. You know, like I guess like a heroin addict would be like, oh man, and they chase that. To me, when you see humanity come together, even if it's for a split moment, and you see and feel the power in that, you can't let go of that power. Because you know that there's always a need. Right? And so when you are born to be a solution-based person and you have other solution-based people around you, you can change the world. And so for me, I think I had one of the hardest boot camps because I didn't grow up in a black community. I grew up in a Latin community, and it was very hard because stigmas and things that humans create that create division in relationships besides what the world throws at us, right? But the one thing that I can say, by being accepted by the Latin community and all the work that I've done, it has really humbled me, right? Because I would have thought my work would have been in the black community. I would have been a black leader, but God let me know it wasn't about a color. It was about a world stage, and it was about humanity. And humanity, no matter what color, there is a purpose and a need. And when you're going to partner with someone, it's like when God split the languages, right? I'm assuming that you were Latin because you said comida. What is that, right? It's judging a book by its cover, right? But when you take the time to say like, hey, so who are you? Where are you from? Because I never asked that question. Yeah. Right? So that's like a prime example of what the world does on a bigger.
I love that. Yeah, what an analogy.
Yeah, so that was my road into the person that you guys are sitting with today.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah, only a glimpse of the person that's sitting across
you know,
from
it's a work in progress.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And you have, I'm going to go a little bit back, because that already sounds like the beginning of a movie. I can see like a radio station guy that owns record labels, and for some reason they're just people knocking. There's no signs outside that there's food on the third floor.
Nothing.
There's nothing to let people know I should knock on this door.
That's
but
right.
For some reason, there's people that are in need knocking on your door, and you have no idea what's happening. And it's God telling you, but there's a bigger purpose. And with the help of your mom to kind of let you know that vision.
Yes.
Now, besides your mother kind of like helping you and telling you that, was there something in you that you felt there was a calling, but maybe you were pushing it back just a little bit, concentrating on everything that you were doing, or did that help?
Yeah, it was when I created a song called Power of One. That was the anthem for my life, and writing those lyrics, because through those lyrics I had to be true, and it really is the power of it's the story of my life.
Wow.
You know, and why I do what I do. You know, we possess the power of the one. We possess the power of the sun. We possess the power to tap into the future, a vision with one mind. We possess the power to live. We possess the power to give. We possess the power to tap into the future, a vision with one mind.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
The message of unity.
Unity.
Absolutely love that.
It's, even like, in the verses, it's essential that you keep reinventing your life, read between the lines to see what lies between the false facade, deceptions, always ever so close, and everything ain't what it seems. So hold on to your dreams. You pursue it, you will get it. Always feel it represented to infinity. Love, peace, and unity be the key to unlock the mystery beneath the surface. No need to rehearse this. My mental telepathy takes me through the universe where I disperse wisdom. Who come? We come to represent and bring the change that they can't seem to maintain. It's been said since the beginning of time that love is what we need to proceed. So I take heed and feed my soul with the supernatural spirit show, power of the one.
What?
So the soldier gets it done.
I love that, dude. That's fire.
Wow.
That's amazing. I love that because usually when I'm listening to something read like that, I don't pick up meaning, especially with mainstream music. But like I picked up the meaning of that, and it was actually there's storytelling going on. I was able to follow it, which was absolutely incredible.
But that's what music does. It touches you when you put the right lyrics onto something. If it identifies with you, I don't have to tell you.
Yes.
Right? You're like, oh, I can get with that.
100%. 100%.
Really cool.
Brother,
Thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. When I first heard your story, the reason why I connected so much with it is because I'm a filmmaker, right? So I get hired for weird filmmaking jobs. I'll do like a quinceañera one day. I'll do a wedding the other day.
Wow.
And I'm open to any type of project. So I once get somebody reach out, and this guy, very well off, financially comfortable guy, he wants his daughter to experience, because she's always been in this fortress of like comfort and all this good stuff. He wants his daughter to experience giving things to people. Mm-hmm. So we sit down and we do a meeting, and he wants to film it because he wants to document this whole experience. So what we do is we go to Starbucks, we sit down, we have a meeting, and we're brainstorming ideas. I'm thinking, where do I find the most amount of people where if we show up with a lot of food, we can give them food? So I'm thinking Venice Beach. Because every time I go to Venice Beach, you feel like there's a lot of homeless going on, all that kind of stuff. We sit down, I was like, all right, I'll bring a camera, I'll have her laughed up, we'll take their permission before we even talk to them, and we'll go get like 50 to 60 In-N-Out burgers, maybe even 100, I don't know. Because I don't know how much he's willing to spend on this, and we'll start passing the food out. I'm thinking about this as a video project, even though it wasn't going anywhere, but I'm thinking, I didn't even see the humanity aspect of it because I'm still thinking as a filmmaker. It was only until we went to Venice Beach, we picked up the burgers, and it was the 4th or 5th burger that we had given out, and I just start crying, man. I just start crying, and I was like, there's this well of love and abundance that any one of us can experience
at any time
if we just give. But it's not easy to understand that. You don't think of that right out the gate. You know what I mean? Because it's counterintuitive. We come our flesh comes from a lack of abundance. So we always want things, right? So when I felt that, I'm like, dude, like I want to meet people who do that more, and that's exactly why I connected to your story, because I was like, this feeling is crazy. Amazing. Yeah, and that's gonna lead me to my question, brother. How does that feeling change over time? What happens to that feeling?
That feeling turns into passion. And when you turn it into passion, that's when you become the miracle maker, right? Because now you're the visionary. Because through that passion, you have vision, which means that you can accomplish, right? Because it's through that vision that you connect with God. And through connecting with God and saying, okay, faith being the substance of things hoped for takes action. Right? I can't get over there unless I walk there. Which is why they made what? The footprints in the sand. Right? my prayer to God every day is I pray to God to use me as a conduit to be a miracle in someone else's life. If I can do that daily, I've done my job. I don't know what it's going to be. Like today, it's sitting here with you guys.
Yes.
Right? Having this very conversation that someone else is going to hear that may give them passion just from our passion.
Yes.
You know, so I would say that it leads into passion.
Excellent answer, brother. Thank you so much for sharing that. How can one of our viewers who may not be interested in like, you know, being part of a foundation or doing anything like that, how can they get a taste of what your life is like? What can they do?
Well, number one is you have to decide that you want to help somebody. You have to decide within your soul, because see, we're programmed to wake up and go to work, make money, and we're worried about that rent. We're worried about that phone bill. Yes. We're worried about maybe the woman that we got to take care of or the man that we got to take care of. And then don't add children into the mix, right? Because you add children into the mix, now you got a tornado going on. So when do you have time to help somebody else? Right? So number one, we got to be willing to slow down. Look at the world truly for what it is. You have to be willing to see the need. If you can't see the need, then you don't know, you can't create a system to help it. You got to see the need in order to know how to address it.
How do you see it?
Well, I mean, through an, let's just deal with an average everyday lens. We have people that are homeless every day. We have families that, let's just say there's a family in a house, right? And they have all these house bills, everything. You have kids, and you have WIC, you have food stamp system, but still that's not enough, right?
Yeah.
But yet there's schools. Schools have programs that allow kids that don't have enough resources at home to silently come and be like, hey, you know what? We don't have enough food, right? So now the chain reaction goes from the school to a nonprofit that specializes in what? Essential resources for families. So now you start to bridge a gap. The second that you make a decision to help someone, you're going to start researching.
Okay. Start to learn how to recognize these needs.
You're going to research, and then you're going to look at your everyday human. You're going to take a look at your, okay. I couldn't get to Mexico without looking in my backyard and seeing the need within a mile away from me. Mm. You walk out of your house, you can see a need within a mile of where you live. You can see it. You drive 5 miles out, you're like, oh, wow, you see it. What can you do? And it's not even what can you do, it's what system can you create that other people can join into, because it's a collaborative effort. Mm. So what can you build that's collaborative?
Okay.
Because you're asking me to tell somebody in the audience, what can they do to, well, let's build collaboration. Let's first identify the problem.
Yes.
And then let's all put our ideas into it. And then let's all put our resources into it. Because that's how you raise the money. Right? And then that creates the accountability.
Wow.
It sounds like you're also taking action, right? A lot of people have the idea of wanting to help somebody, and it's just an idea until you actually step out and do something. Absolutely. All you got to do is just walk and ask somebody if they need help, and then do the action of actually helping. And I feel like that'll start the spark of something grand.
Absolutely. And because it's just like you said, you were there to work for $1. You were filming something like, look, okay, I'm going to lever you up. We're going to go out here, get these burgers. All right. You're in such a fast pace. Mm. But then what did reality do? Reality slowed down by the time you got to the fourth one, because you looked into the eyes, you saw the emotion, and you saw the gratitude.
Yes.
And then besides seeing, you felt. When you feel another person's gratitude, I get tingles just talking about it. When you feel another person's gratitude from just handing them a piece of food.
Yeah.
You know, we do Christmas events and different things, and, you know, we're blessed to raise over 2,000 toys every year. We go and we have these distributions, and we put a sign up out there, right? And this sign up, it's literally gone within seconds, 5-10 seconds. Seems like people were waiting for this, right? It's the families that couldn't get into there, and those emotional stories that really impact us, because those are the people that we can't help, that we know have to go find another resource. So for us as a foundation, we're not the big man on the block. We want other foundations that are doing the same thing that we're doing. So therefore, if we're at max with our resources, hey, go over here, because our sister foundation over here, they're continuing what we're doing. So your kid is still going to get that resource.
Wow. So it's not a competitive place. Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have made the nonprofit world a competitive space, and by nature, the grant process has, right? Because so many people are going for one grant.
Right.
But is it really about the grant? Was it the grant that made your foundation? No, it was the basic effort of your kindness and the act that you did that actually made your foundation. If you stay with that root, like I said, if you build it, they'll come. God will provide those resources. Those resources will come. I can't say that since we started this foundation that we had to really like hack for resources and beg for resources. I can't honestly say that. That's not our road. Our road has been, we collaborate, those resources come because everybody's joining and everybody's putting in. And that's across the board. That's what we have found has really worked for us, and why even corporations still partner with us. And, you know, and we're looking to expand even more. We want to be bigger, right? We want to help more. Because I mean, we're even limited financially. We're a small nonprofit. It's 2 people in this nonprofit. We have no staff, no nothing. We don't even have a warehouse.
Wow.
Okay. I wouldn't have guessed that, to be honest, with everything that you have told
Everything
us.
you said, I'm thinking trucks, like signs everywhere.
Look, during the pandemic, Northgate Markets and the Gonzalez family, and it speaks to the testament of partnerships by way of Reuben Smith, our lawyer, law office. The Gonzalez family saw what we were doing. The store that's in Costa Mesa, the Northgate store, that was my warehouse.
Oh,
what?
Before it was that store. They donated that 30,000 square feet warehouse to us during the pandemic. That is how I was able to feed and hold all those distributions. If the Northgate Gonzalez family would not have had a heart to give me that warehouse for the foundation for us to do the work, would I even be able to say what I'm saying to you now? I didn't get here alone. I can name many people that, and companies that were a part of the making of Power of One and where our stature is, right? Yeah, we got the key to the city. We're inducted into Congress. Been honored by presidents and all of that, but those are great accolades, right? They help you get other resources. But the reward part of it is the community. Right? That you could walk anywhere in any community and they're like, oh no, if we want resources, this, that, no, we trust Power of One. That is huge, right? But they can only trust you by seeing the work that you're doing, being involved, and seeing what you did in the past, right? Like the world that we live in today, nobody wants anything fake. We're in so much of a more realer time right now than we ever have, because there's a lot at stake. There's a lot at risk. There's a lot of lives being affected, right? Who would have thought that immigration would have been the top priority in basic community these days, right? No one would have thought that. Okay, we come out of a pandemic and now you got families fighting for their lives who came for a better life. And now they're fighting for that, right? And that takes away resources. So now there's even more resources and more care and love needed into communities until this whole thing is balanced out in their structure, right? So leaders are needed even more now, and even more within our communities. That basic average person that thinks that they don't have enough power to do this, yes, you do. Because we all got to unite. We got to join hands. It's the only way we're going to have a better future.
I'm glad that you had that open heart and like listening to God and what He has planned, because the thing right now, and I'm going to bring, before this, I had mentioned a Marvel reference. I'm going to bring another one. And the thing that I think about right now is that famous Spider-Man line, which is, with great power comes great responsibility. And I feel like you got that, because like anybody else that had the key to the city will be walking like McGregor did that day he won that fight, right? But I feel like everything that you've been blessed with, you don't talk to us like me. You keep bringing up community. You keep bringing up that it was a group effort. It was more than just myself. God did help. God did bless you with like this vision, but also you have this like humbleness about it that you keep reminding us that it was a whole community thing. It's not just myself.
If I could, I'd probably fall out in tears right now when I tell you how this really affected my life, right? Because every day I'm learning. Every day I'm getting more humble. I'm just like y'all. I got dreams and aspirations for other things.
Yeah.
But like when I finally accepted my calling, right? And it's a calling on my life because it's a decision I made. I knew that I was like, okay, I can go out here and make $1 million. I can be on TV every day again. I got a leading role on an Apple series right now. I'm an executive producer. To some people, that's living the dream, right? But I realized like, okay, I fed 3 million people next to one person that is, the love of my life, my best friend, also my business partner, right? Whom, when I first started to getting into this, she was fighting me tooth and nails, right? Because it was a vision from God. And sometimes when you're given a vision from God, no one's going to understand you. They're going to think you're absolutely insane, right? But when she was able to get past that and she stepped on, right? But then when other volunteers, as we started doing these distributions, you got to realize I started something that I didn't know I did not know that I was going to end up doing 15 distributions. I did not know I was going to be a forklift for 24 hours, 48 hours, Monday through Friday. Northgate Market's going to give me that. I got a dock full of food. I got refrigerators full of food. And I'm left to devise a system that's in real time that has to go out. And everybody's like, oh, I could do that. Oh, I can do this and I'll do that. When IKEA partnered with us and said, we'll do your curbside, it was just an idea. I said, oh, what if we do curbside? And they were like, oh, no, we'll do that for you. It was a system test. I didn't know if it was going to work. We ended up doing that for the rest, right? Even then you go post, well, my trunk or treats, my Christmas events that we did, they're still at IKEA. Okay? It's like IKEA is an international company. They don't write checks to foundations. They're an international company. They're not in the U.S. For the first time, they wrote a check to our foundation, Power of One Foundation, Black History Month, through the partnership that was made through the IKEA Costa Mesa store, who won for the first time out of the international for community engagement of the year. That was done through those efforts out of Costa Mesa, right?
Wow.
But what if they were not open to that, right? So like, those girls over there, Vanessa, Maggie, angels.
That's awesome.
Right, because they had that care for that community. So, man, it's just about bridging those gaps of people that just are like-minded.
I would like the audience to kind of know the magnitude of this impact that you've had on the community, because you have many other titles, right? So You're a singer, you're an entertainer, you're an actor. Yeah. I would love if you could give us a little bit more insight on that, because I would love for people to see that you do have a whole different life, but yet the one that's the most fulfilling, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the one of your philanthropy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at heart, philanthropy is like where I'm going to be for the rest of my life. I know that that's my calling. What helps me fulfill my calling? Music. I've been writing music all my life. I love to sing. To me, there's a gift. The gift is in the melody, right? Anybody can write words. But when you could come up with melody, and that I can sit up here and say, just like I was, repeating my rap. Those were words. They affected you, right? But if I sit back and I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do a collaboration together. Let's do something that is raw. Okay, one of us has to be able to say, that is a gift,
Mm.
right? Because you hear the resin of the voice.
So sorry.
You have like, okay, hey, I felt that.
And then I start getting inspired to add to that.
Okay, now you're saying you're like, hey,
Okay.
what about this? Like,
Yeah.
rise up, rise up, rise up. Now we've
Yes.
connected melody with word.
Yes.
Yo, this song should be it should be an anthem. Now he just made it an anthem.
Mm.
Everybody get up. Come on, join the fight.
I wish I could sing so
Now-
we could do this.
Right, I want to do it so badly, but I'm going to sound like trash if we get started with a. He's like, no, Leah, that's not what I meant. You don't get it. That's not.
Let me show you all three melodies.
I'm going to show you. I'm going to do the whole thing. Just watch.
But
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And so that's why I love creativity. So I was bit by that early, you know. I grew up with Kool and the Gang and Earth, Wind and Fire in my living room. My mom used to manage bands, right? So Kool and the Gang, you know, rock steady, sitting up there, celebration time, come on. That's one of the first songs I sang in a talent show, right?
Wow.
You hear the whispers sitting up in your living rooms, you know, Scotty with these little passionate because they were short, you know, and they're like, rock steady, steady rocking off. You're like, wait a minute, this is in my living room. So no, I was big with music early.
Wow.
Right, the Disneyland, you know, the band used to come up in the little carousel. My mom managed that band.
Wow.
Right. So, you know, that's just, I grew up with music. And then after that, I started writing. And then I got a chance to really say, like, be in a lot of groups. Right. But then when I started doing all my solo stuff, that's when I got a chance to be on a lot of stages. I performed from here to Brazil.
Wow.
Right. I got a chance to perform in Vegas. I started at the Speedway Casino. Right. So I put myself in Vegas. Right. So I'm running my own record label, Beat Lounge Records, and I'm working with everybody from Dr. Dre, like his label Aftermath, Interscope, all of them. So I'm like, and I'm gonna put myself out there. So started my record label, Beat Lounge Records. Ended up doing my first album under Warner Brothers, which was The Love of a Woman. And the single that I put out of Vegas was Tell Me. Tell me what you did to me. So it's not even rap. So I'm full singing. So I'm at the Speedway Casino, man. I'm doing 3 45-minute sets. If you don't sing or anything like that, 3 45-minute sets, that's long. And in North Vegas, right? But what made that fun is I had a person in a wheelchair that came to every one of my shows. This lady in this wheelchair would be down there just grooving, and I'd be up there just singing my song. But she made it, and she gave me the passion. Next thing I knew, next thing I knew, they moved me down to Mandalay Bay. So I'm driving into Vegas. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I'm in Vegas performing. I'm driving into Vegas one time, and my song's on the radio. Like, wait, hold on, wait, what? I am right on the... Right, I lost my mind. Right? And then the ventures began. Then I said, oh, you know, I want to act. So I'm looking at television. How ironic. I'm looking at television and I'm looking at Days of Our Lives. And I'm saying, oh, I could do that. I go put myself in the most cheesiest school in Beverly Hills. I'm up there, man, going through this. I'm doing this little showcase and I'm doing this milk commercial. And this white lady walks up to me after I get done. Oh, you're going to be famous. And da-da-da-da. I look at this lady like, yeah, whatever. Her name was Judy Landis. Man, God bless that lady. She said, you're going to be famous. Next thing I knew, on Monday, I had a contract. She had Taft-Hartley'd me into SAG. And the first thing I did was silk stockings. And if anybody knows silk stockings, it was like pouring on Max HBO. So that's one of my first breakings into it. But man, she said, you're not going to do cheesy roles, nothing. You're a lead actor and you do nothing but leading roles. And I'm glad she shaped me that way because it set my standard.
Yeah.
Right. And it set my trajectory of where I was going to go. And she's like, the first year is going to be hard for you. You're just going to hear no. And she wasn't lying. Every room I walked in, oh, he's green. I hated that word green.
Mm-hmm.
Then I walked in and meet this lady. And I'm up there with my boy, and my boy's riding with me to all these auditions, man. And I walk into this one audition, and it's for Dangerous Minds, television show with Annie Potts. I go up in there, do my thing, walk out, get ready to walk out of the gate of Paramount. My agent calls me, "You booked it." What? So I booked Dangerous Minds, man, and then after that I booked Angel, that came on after Buffy.
Okay.
Then I booked a 1-800-COLLECT commercial with Chris Rock and Phil Hartman, may he rest in peace. Then I booked a commercial with Kobe, may he rest in peace.
Wow.
Then I booked a commercial with Shaq when the Yo Quiero Taco Bell with the dog. So I did some of those commercials with Shaq.
That means I want Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know that commercial so well. Yeah, that one for sure. Te quiero Taco Bell.
Then I did Fox Sports West. Then when I got the chance to do all of that, I got called by a friend. Her name was Crystal Jones, who was working for 20th Century Fox when they were doing Notorious, this movie, and Fox Searchlight and George Tillman. They had already been shooting it. They was done, but they were like, "We're doing these pickup scenes, and we'd like to have you just come and do something." So I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." So at that time, I'm running my record label when this movie comes out, and I'm working for the West Coast. I just picked up when Dr. Dre Aftermath, when he's getting ready to do his album, and we were going to do the first prints of it. My mom had worked to get the job, and so I go up there, and I didn't have to audition for this. They hand me the script, and so it's the montage parts, the most craziest, best 45 seconds I've done in my entire life, right? So when you're looking at Notorious, and before he's gonna die, he's on stage, and they go through the montage about, how this started on the West and East Coast, is all that whole montage. Well, that's me. And they put some people in between it. So when I get there that day, they hand me the script, and in the script, it's like, "Oh, you gotta say F Dre, F this, So I gotta basically just diss all the West Coast, right? But yet I'm doing work on the West Coast, right? And I look at him, I said, "Hey," I said, "I can't say fuck Dr. Dre. I can't, excuse my French, all of this. I can't do all of that, bro." I said, "If you guys want me, I'd love to do this movie because it's history. I love Biggie, everything, the whole nine, but I can't do that." I said, "If you could have me representing the West Coast and do that, then I'll do it." So they went back and thought about it, came back to me. They're like, "All right, we'll let you represent the West Coast." So I'm like, "All right, cool." Whew, man,
Now he's cussing out the East Coast.
Yeah.
that could have just changed the whole trajectory, because here I am, I do this, right? So I'm doing nothing but cussing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm on Notorious. I'm doing all the East Coast, go to this star, and the West Coast, do the. So you do it, you film, you get done, the movie comes out. Man, I'm like sitting in the movie theaters. I'm like, let me go sit in the movie theaters and just see. Like, so I'm watching the movie. I'm like, okay. It gets to that part, man. And I hear the whole theater's reaction of that part. And I'm like, oh, wow. And then I got my cousins calling me from Florida. They at the movie that scene. And I'm like, man, this is 45 seconds. Like, I've done like stuff where I got leading roles where you can actually see me talk. And I'd be in Beverly Hills, man. I go in Beverly Hills. I'm walking down to go meet a producer, and I got these little kids in back of me, and I'm walking down the street. They're like, "Fuck this," and I'm like, "Wait!" They're repeating all the lines. I was like, "Wait, no, you guys recognize hey, hold on." I'm going to places. Park on. This is what got me. I'm parked on Sunset. I'm getting ready to go into the W, and I'm walking, and there's this car that's parked, and there's this hard man. He looked like he was crib something, just like he's hard, right? And I notice him, but I'm walking the street and I'm like, yo. And I turn back, he's like, "Yo, man, you were hard and Notorious." I'm like, wait, that was 45
I thought I was about to get shot.
Right? Like, there was a whole movie. How do you remember that part?
That's
right?
crazy.
So you just like, I was told by one of my acting mates, we were in class, and I was complaining about the role, right? She's like, there are no small roles in acting. She made that made sense. It was hit that day. I was like, okay, 45 seconds. And it's like, I'm a celebrity up in this piece, but I done did Angel Buffy this. I done did this, which, And I was like, it was very humbling. right? But it let me look at things from a different perspective. I'm like, oh, okay, how can I turn this around? So that's when I was like, okay, what does it take for movies to get done? So I stopped going in front of the camera to go behind the camera, so that I could see, okay, how are movies made? And here I am, a music artist, right? And I'm like, well, dang, I can do the soundtrack, I could do this. I'm trying to upsell myself, right? And so I got a chance to intern with some of the best people in this industry when it comes to putting out blockbuster films, and got myself to the point to where a lot of the films that go into theaters, Bad Boys 3, Jumanji, and all these different Expendables 3, they were crossing my desk.
Wow.
Right? And so I'm able to see how these things are made, and that, to me, that's what intrigued me. So I took myself from saying, okay, cool, I'm gonna be a rapper, singer, and I'm like, all right, let me produce films. Now let me give a real message, because now I can do the message from the front to the end. I could do the music. I could really hit people's emotions, and I can really send out things that will jar the mind. So that's why on the other side of me, my passion for the arts is there, because when you look at any one of us can sit up here and name a movie or a song that is like, yo, that affected me.
Yeah.
100%.
I mean, for me, it's the whole Marvel series.
Oh, yeah. I was kind of right. I felt the vibe there.
You know what I mean?
There's a hero vibe.
Yeah, it's that's just me.
Yes. I love that. I do want to interject real quick with a question. So you are very constructive with the way you use music. Like you just were able to make an analogy of collaboration, for creating, providing food for people. And you made the analogy of how we can sit together and jam and make a song and like add on to each other's stuff. Music doesn't play that role for everybody. Some people use music in a destructive way.
Absolutely.
What's your take on that? Yeah, get that water in.
Yeah, that deserves a drink.
Yes. Because honestly, like I have like younger cousins and nephews and nieces that I don't want them listening to music in certain times, certain phases of their life, because the music that's out there doesn't actually build anything in them.
Okay, so let's look at what drives the music industry. Okay. What drives the music industry? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Okay, we're here to party. If I don't keep you amped up, and then let's really look at the music industry. There are different genres. You're talking about one space, and that just so happens to be a popular space, hip hop. Right? The hip hop culture, you look at the 80s, 90s hip hop, 2000s hip hop, we were still evolving mentally, right? We were evolving as a new music mechanism vehicle, right? And we had a purpose. That's why you had your EPMDs, your DOS effects, Outcasts, right? They were partying with you, but there was real knowledge being spit. Your Method Mans, Wu-Tang Clan, all of them, X-Clan, all of those. But you have to look at the time and space where we were as a humanity, right? And now when you look at the music now and our youth, where's our society at? We're in a very violent society. We're in a very, very pressure cooker type of environment, and everything needs to happen now, and everything is intense now. And with that type of aggressive mentality, and then also too, look at what our communities have built with the lack of resources. When you feel like you got to survive, and when I say survive, that means I had to join this gang to feel like I needed to survive. That was my family, right? And this family operated the way that it operates. It might have started with a great mission, but in everything you have a bad seed. Okay, well, who tends to be your more popular artists in music? People that have come from extreme bad situations, who are now coming out of a bad situation with money, But the most important thing about that person is they're evolving. So they may throw trash into the system to only mature to realize, oh, hey, now I need to regress, but the damage is done. So that's where mature artists, and it's our responsibility to help guide that, right? But it starts in our community with that person that's in that studio recording that music. Okay, so if you're a young African-American kid, a young Latino kid, a young Asian kid, young minority, and you got a talent to spit, well, you have an obligation with your voice. The tongue is a very powerful thing. God said so himself, double-edged sword, right? That's why you have now all of a sudden, now bullying is it's like the thing. Well, where does that come from? That comes from the tongue, which then is a mental state. But you're trying to tell me that I can say something from my tongue to make you do that? I've gotten inside of your spiritual self and affected you to where you have placed me here and your value here. Mm. And then when you have a system that has to sell, you work for a label, you have a label, or you have anybody behind you. I won't necessarily just say a label, right? So I don't have to get squashed on. You have a machine, and this machine is made here to make dollars. And then you came into this machine because you know this machine makes dollars. You felt that you had a talent that you can put out there, but what this machine will put out, you got to cookie cutter your stuff. Right? That's why we started listening to Prince, Michael Jackson, right? But the evolvement came right before their death.
Interesting.
But they were constantly evolving, constantly sending messages.
Yeah.
Right? Because they saw it themselves. So I think as a community, where these home studios and where we're at and everybody who's congregating to get together to create, it starts there. We can change that message, that narrative. But again, can you get rid of that? No, because that's someone's life story.
100%. Love that. I have to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
We know you can sing. And we heard some of your voice. If you can bless us with a song, something, a part of a song, whatever you can bless us with.
Yeah, it's
something you're excited about, something that's fun, something we like, maybe popular that we can enjoy.
Well, I'll sing you something that I sing to myself that gives me inspiration.
All right, Let's do it.
When I look back over my life and I think things over, I can truly say that I've been blessed. I have a testimony. Listen up. When I look back over my life, I can truly say I have a testimony. For the love of God has truly blessed me. So I live my life every day knowing that love is the way. Oh yeah, every day love is the way.
Wow. A round of applause.
Thank you, guys.
That was amazing, man.
That was
message. You have an angelic voice. Very.
Man, thank you. I'm not even warmed up, so I hope it was good enough for. So people writing on the wall like, "Yo, he was whack. I didn't have time to warm up.
Angelic, and the message is really beautiful. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I don't want to dive too deep into like movies and stuff like that, but Sinners, did you watch it?
Yes, I did.
Did you enjoy it? What'd you think about it?
I did. I enjoy Michael B. Jordan and his body of work. I think he's very talented. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't really do horror. And
I was gonna
things
say
like
the
that.
vampire part, like it's cool that it's there, but prior to that, the whole thing leading up to it, I enjoy that whole piece right there.
Yeah, I don't really do the other side, and I don't have any against it, but I just don't really do the other side. But yeah, I thought it was like a creative piece.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's well done creatively.
Yeah, I get inspired each time I watch that movie. Like, man, this is that one movie where I watch it, I'm like, dude, I want to film something cool like this.
Right?
Yeah.
No, and look at the buzz he did. I think, the trajectory that Michael B. Jordan is on and where he's going in his body of work. I mean, absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of the brother.
Yeah. Except Fantastic Four. We don't talk about that one.
I just went and sat through that, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
Oh man, you just hurt me with the brand with that. I mean, even Superman hurt me, man.
Oh, really?
I got to be honest, man. Superman.
I'm out.
I was like, oh, I'm a filmmaker, so I get it, and you have to, they make things new for every generation and different things, right? But I just, I don't know. So seeing Superman soft like that, I was like, oh, yeah.
He got beat up. He got beat up a lot.
Okay, I'm saying the first scene he's being carried off by a dog, right? You know what I mean? Then it was hard for me. And then the dog beats him up before he takes him off. Like I was like, come on, the narrative.
Narrative's not accurate.
Yeah, it's not the Superman I know.
Exactly.
But I'm like, okay, cool. This is a new day.
Yeah. Hopefully it's just a little origin thing and he just comes back on the next one where he's actual Superman. Yeah. Sorry, now we're ranting.
No, I love it. I love it. I want to throw in since it's the Visionary Circle podcast, I want to throw in a vision. So they say you're 5 people away from anybody you want to meet in the world, like 5 connections. And you seem to know more popular people than anybody in this room.
I don't know about that, but
so if we can somehow, some way, anytime in the future, now until we're not here, get John Legend on this podcast.
Look at you. We will put that energy out there. We will put that energy out there. Yeah. We have some tentacles out there.
You might see him on a set or something. I don't know. And he might be like, brother, were you on that one podcast?
Whenever there's karaoke mentioned, Leo's guy is
ordinary people.
John,
huh?
We're just ordinary people. I can't sing anymore on the podcast. I kind of ruined it for myself because I'm bringing out all these professionals.
You keep singing it, man.
Yeah, brother. This has been huge. Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence. Thank you so much for what you do, regardless of the podcast. Like what you're doing is incredible. The fact that somebody so cultured and real and competent and good at what he does is using that power to give back to community. Makes me feel good that there are people, there's superheroes out there.
Oh, there are. There's to me, I think that there's many more like me. We just don't know them yet.
I like to think so.
Yeah, I got a guy in New York that's like me, and I'm like, whoa, man. I met him one day, stood outside in the freezing cold for 4 hours talking to him. I didn't realize it was freezing cold, and I was like, yeah, these are the brothers that you want to meet in life. And now, he's helping me doing something amazing with Africa.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. So they are out there.
I love being aware of that. I love knowing that. I would love for me and Sergio to maybe one day come support in any way we can.
You better come support, man. You got to.
Yes.
In any way that we can. I mean, again, we're really good with behind the camera, working a camera, or any way that we can do anything to help you in your projects. I mean, please, we would love to.
You guys are filmmakers just like me. So, I'll put something out there. What I really need help with is I want to do a documentary. Okay. And I have I want to do a documentary on 2020 and that whole rising of that. And I basically have all the footage. I just need to do some other interviews and different things, but I need it. It's a piece that I've been trying to touch, but it's the one piece that I cannot produce it because I'm too close to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. But I want the best from it because it was a time in history and space where it really affected my life and other people's lives.
Yeah.
Right. And I believe that story needs to be out there into the world. So I would challenge you with that.
Yes. We'll definitely find a way to be of service in that. And also, even if it's like we're moving, pallets of food or like even the basic stuff.
That's automatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys are going to come have some fun with us. We're launching this literacy program. So we partnered with Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, right? And we're responsible for rolling literacy, her program, out over the entire Orange County. And so we'll be doing literacy events and other different pop-up events in the community to make awareness. So I would appreciate if you guys can continue to put it out there. Kids 0 to 5 get free books. And once we launch this program, and it's actually one of the biggest launches from the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, California. And so we need all the support with that. So we're raising $500,000 for that right now.
Wow.
And wanting the community to respond right there. And so families right now, if you have a kid 0 to 5, you're about to have a kid, you can go to powerofonefoundation.org and show your level of interest, because all those metrics actually help us raise money so that we can reach the goal. And we're looking to launch this in November. If we've raised the money, it's all predicated on the money raised. But if not, then we'll launch it the first part of next year. But then it'll be a staple literacy program here in Orange County, because if a kid does not learn how to read by the time that they're 5, well, actually 3, they won't graduate high school.
What?
And so when you look at the statistics in Orange County and where we stand on literacy, it's something that you want to champion behind and really change those metrics, because we have a lot of talented kids here in Orange County, especially in our lower served communities, Santa Ana, Anaheim. We got some diamonds there, so we want to make sure that we can get some, new presidents and different things out there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Andre, before we close anything out, I want to give some time into something new that is happening into your life.
Yes.
You just signed some papers that is a big deal.
Yes, absolutely.
And the reason why I want to, and I don't want to give it, I want to give it the respected amount of time that it is.
Absolutely.
But one thing that I love about people that have such stature is when they come to you and they just talk to you like you're just a normal, cool person. Like, I love that you walked in here and you were so just like amazing to us right from the get-go. It felt like a friendship, and then you tell me everything you're doing. I'm like, I'm not even worthy sitting next to Andre right here. Like,
please.
you know what I mean? But that's what I love the most. I've always wanted to be that whole millionaire next door where you don't even know what's going on, and I just want to hang out with people that buy with me, and then
Absolutely.
Eventually you'll know all the things that I do, but let's just hang out, let's have a good time. And I feel like that's something that you do right off the bat. But this new thing that's going on, can you tell us a little bit what's happening?
Absolutely. It was definitely a God venture. So I'm in Utah, going over there to close out negotiations for a film project. It'll be a documentary, television show, and also a book. And while I'm over there, I'm asked to go to Texas to be able to meet African delegates, because I'm part of a group at the time, the Inner Circle. There's a gentleman, his name is David Chen. He's actually really talented. He really lifts people up and empowers people. That's what his whole thing is about. And so they asked me to come to Texas, and I'm sitting in Utah, and I'm like, no, I don't want to go to Texas. I'm actually good. I need to go home, right? And I'm wrestling with this. And so finally I was like, okay, I'll go. So I get a plane ticket to go to Texas, leave Utah to go to Texas. So my whole round trip thing is just gone now. Yeah, I get over to Texas. I land at Texas about 11 o'clock in Dallas. Get up there. Get to Dallas airport, the most unfriendly airport, by the way.
Oh, no.
I'm there, go down, trying to find where you got to rent a car at. No one tells you where to rent a car at. It ends up being this crazy process that if you would never find out. Finally, someone nice directed me down there. Get down there, they won't rent me a car because I'm on a one-way ticket. And I'm like, wait, I can't rent a car because I'm on a one-way ticket. But I said, but I just left here, but I need to get. So I thought that takes up another 2 hours. I'm so frustrated. I'm in my carnal nature. I'm just frustrated. I'm like, you know what? I'm over Texas. I'm ready to go. And I just booked me a flight, go home. And I'm like, all right, cool. Got a room. See a taxi outside. Didn't even call an Uber. That's how mad I was. I didn't even think to call an Uber. I see a taxi guy. I just go run, jump in his car. He's got the windows up, everything, and he's smoking a cigarette. So I didn't peep all the smoke in his car. And so I get in there and I'm like, I said, yo, take me to this hotel. So I'm going down the windows. And then I get up there, man, and he overcharges me. From the airport to there, he charged me $80. I said, yo, 80. Well, I go in there. I'm even more frustrated. Go in there, booked my room there. They sold my room. So now I don't even have a room. By this time, it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm fuming. I'm just like, no, what the heck am I doing in Texas? Why am I here? I'm going through this. I don't even want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of homeless on the street in Dallas. At this time, I walk to 7-Eleven because I'm thirsty, get some water. All these guys are outside, man, can you get me some water? So I end up buying 20 bottles of water, giving it to all the guys out there. I'm just walking the street at this point, and I'm just hot, man. I got my suitcase, and if you want to feel special, maybe I was feeling a little special at that time because I was just coming off a movie project, right? I'm walking down the street hot, and I'm just like, and I see the Omni Hotel, and I'm like, hey, but if I go stay over there, I'm going to have to get up in the morning. I just spent $500 for nothing. Who has that to throw away? So I'm just going through all these things. I'm carrying my suitcase, and finally God was like, why are you so mad? I have something for you here. Just like I'm talking to you is how it came to me, right? And then I calmed down for a second. And then my partner's like, just go get a room. And again, I go back into my furniture. I'm like, no, I don't even want to be here. Just book me a flight. I'll come home. I'll deal with all this thing. I don't even want to be here. I'm over it. Go get the room. Finally, get the room. Get a night's rest. Wake up the next day. Go back to the hotel. They give me the room. I'm telling this story for a reason because it's very important.
I'm intrigued.
I'm all in.
Locked in.
So I get there, and when I go to check in, they finally say, okay, we have your room. But I have to go to the actual conference that I'm there. So I don't even get time to check into the room, nothing. I said, okay, cool. I go to the conference. I walk into the conference, and it's in this room, and it's freezing cold. And I'm sitting there. And even though I'm invited by the gentleman here, I didn't really get introduced to everybody. I'm just sitting there. And the African delegates are on the far side. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, I don't want to be here. I'm going to be honest. I was telling myself, I don't want to be here. It's where my nature was. Lamar Odom walks through the door. And he's like, oh, it's freezing in here, this and that. So I know I have a sweater upstairs. So I was like, let me go get the sweater. I'll just kick it in the room, using the excuse. So I go up to the room, man, and I open the balcony, and I'm sitting on the balcony. I'm like, no, I'm just going to kick it. I'm not going back downstairs. I'll wait till later. And I'm sitting there kicking it. And it was like, get your butt up and go back downstairs. Take that sweater and go. No. So I sit up there again, man, and it was like, get that sweater and go. It just had this urgency. So I just found out, I was like, okay, get up, take the sweater. I go in there. When I walk into the room, Lamar is sitting here, my seat's here. I walk up, the gentleman's talking. I don't want to be rude, so I throw the sweater, and it lands on the floor. And I'm like, oh, dang, I wasn't being rude. Sorry, Lamar. But he was thankful for the sweater because he was genuinely cold. So he puts the sweater on. And you never know what an act of kindness does and how it sets you apart in a room. So fast forward, the room goes. It ends. Nobody really gets introduced to each other. I notices His Excellency, his wife, but the look on her face is like, why am I here? She has like the same spirit I do, right? And I'm wondering, like, okay, why is this lady walking around the room kind of feeling that way? But she's still being nice and cordial. I don't really get introduced to anybody. Because the gentleman that invited me there, he's really busy and there's a lot of things. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go to my room. I'm ready to go. And there's a lot of other activities planned because at the same time, they're doing a docu-series on my life. So JT, who produced The Tiger King, Celebrity Cheaters, that's in his 53rd season, is producing my documentary on my life. And so I've signed this contract. So I'm also there to look at these studios and actually build a relationship with him so he can know me and different things. So that was the other thing that I was there for. But I was mainly like, okay, I got to go. So I go up there, go to sleep that night. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, I gotta go. Why the heck am I'm just like, I'm still saying the same thing. Okay, come out of the elevator. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go get breakfast. If nothing happens by the time I leave breakfast, I'm actually out. Come out of the elevator, come like this. I turn the corner, come up like this. It's the African delegates. And they're like, oh, you're who we wanted to talk to. I'm like, oh, me? They're like, can we talk to you? And I said, yeah. We ended up talking for 3 hours.
Wow.
In the middle of talking, they said, we'd like to continue our visit with you. If we came to Orange County, would you continue to talk to us? And I have a modality that is a natural healing modality that helps people. And so they needed a little help. And I was like, yeah, and I'll help you at the same time because I see you need this help and adjustment. And so they flew out here. I didn't think they were serious. Flew out here, sure enough, called me up, went and met them. And while I'm driving, something says, offer them your home. This is going to be way below their royalty. Like, why are you? Well, would you guys like to stay at my home? You know, they're like, thank you. We would like to stay at your home.
What?
So I give up my master bedroom.
Yeah.
Put them in the master bedroom. It was like coming to America, coming to the house, right? You know what I'm saying? So it was the most intense, beautiful 4 days that I've ever had in my life. It was so life-changing. So it was dream and visions, understanding I'm sitting here with the Secretary General to the continent of Africa that's in my home. And I'm like, okay. Like, okay. So just showered love on them and just took care of them. So he flies back out to Africa. A couple of days later, sends me a letter. I'd like for you to be the vice chairman to the Global Council for the continent of Africa for our Africans for Africa movement.
What?
And you as the vice chairman have to finish selecting the people that will be on the council of 16 representing the 16,000 years of slavery and the bondage and coming out, plus one being him, the Secretary General, which makes 17. 16 plus one. And I'm like, wait a minute, why me? Like, who am I? Like, no, this like, and he said, we flew all the way from Africa to meet you. I was like, for someone to say something like that to you, like, I'm like, okay, hold on. And when he gave me that seat, I was like, I wanted to turn it down. I was like, oh no, I don't, you know.
Too much.
And when he talked to me, his name is Moses. Okay? And he is a Moses. The way he articulates himself, the way that he told me the type of leader that I am and the impact that I'm about to have on this world was absolutely life-changing. And so here I am, the vice chairman for the Global Council for the continent of Africa. My duty is to clean the waters of Africa to promote clean mining, right? Which is one of the biggest problems on the continent because it has to do with the enrichment of the continent because all the resources have been taken out of the continent. So for him to choose me to clean water and then donate 10 million tokens to my foundation, what you have to understand is you have Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is a coin. It's invisible. What is it backed by? Can you guys tell me?
I have no idea.
No idea. Okay, so for the first time in history, the continent of Africa has backed a token and is using it as a utility token to power the continent through its minerals. Do you know the wealth that is backed up by? And so now you create opportunities.
So, sorry, Bitcoin is backed up by Africa?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's backed up by, we don't know.
Okay.
Africa has made their own token, the African mineral token.
Okay.
that is backed by the countries in Africa and also backed by the minerals,
Mm.
the assets.
Okay.
So I'll go across every mineral.
Yes.
This is asset backed.
Mm.
And it's a utility token, which means that it changes the continent. Why? Because it takes away, allows transparency, because you can't lie on the blockchain. Everything's recorded. It takes away from the thievery. It sets in place a system which knocks out the corporations and the people that are there in on the continent, illegal mining. Now, the illegal mining, we sit in America and we have our phones, the cobalt, right? Things that power our electric cars and different things like that. If you look at how it is mined, it is putting mercury in the water. So when you look at some of the lakes, just go to Ghana and research it. The water's yellow from all the mercury in there, because you have to use the mercury to clean it to get the gold and the diamonds, right? It's the process. Well, why are those people doing that? They're doing that because of survival. What happens when you take control and you offer measures of growth in life and job opportunities? Then people will understand that mercury that's in that water, because what happens? The fish drink the water. The animals of the land drink the water. The people drink the water. The people eat the animals. We just created a health crisis that, if it's not averted now, within the next 5 to 10 years, we will be addressing Africa in a different way.
Very interesting.
So this life mission that has been placed before me by the continent of Africa by way of His Excellency Moses Ngandu is truly an honor and a blessing. Do I know where it leads? No. I don't know where it leads to. But I'm so excited to walk this journey and this path when I feel like everything in my life has led me to this moment.
Wow.
Yeah. Congratulations on that, by the way. That's a huge news. And I feel like when I'm ever in that situation of like, why me, or why is this happening, or this big old thing's on the table, I always go back to, if God didn't think I could do it, it wouldn't be presented to me. Absolutely.
And and I, like, Patti LaBelle wrote a book that my grandmother gave me, Don't Block Your Blessings. And what was I doing the whole time? I was blocking my blessing.
Yeah.
Being in my carnal nature.
Yeah.
Right? But it just shows you that when God has a mission for your life, no matter what you want to do, however you do, you're going to get to that mission.
Yeah.
Right? If the true core of your heart is really to serve.
Yeah.
Right? And that's where I'm just like, wow.
I've learned that pattern. People that give are it's very hard for them to receive.
Yes.
Yeah. And I learned that as well. I had a friend from church tell me that same thing, where something happened to us and we were in need of things, and she said, don't block the blessing I'm trying to give you. And once she told me that, oh man, I was like, okay, I will now receive the gifts that people are trying to give me. That's because it is a blessing.
It's a different humbling, right?
Yeah.
Because now you have to receive, and you're like, okay, well, hold on, but you have to learn how to receive.
Right.
Because it's an ebb and flow. Give, receive, give, receive, give, receive.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, they say with nonprofits, I became a professional beggar. Right? So I'm a professional beggar, man. I'll be begging for the rest of my life.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, it's an honorable mission, man.
Yeah.
No. So, to be doing work on the continent now, and for the continent globally.
Yeah.
It just marks a different chapter in my life, right? That I'm open
Very
to.
exciting.
So, if you want to help me clean water, and also too, also invest into yourself, because the blockchain, everybody's moving toward the digital age, right? So invest into Africa and invest into this token, and you'll be going to be highly surprised at what it does even on the blockchain.
Yeah.
It'll be live on the blockchain in October. It'll be rolling live onto the blockchain into the world.
Wow.
So right now we're in the final phases of rolling it out, which is the event that we're going to have on the 24th of September in New York, which will be the launch of the Africans for Africa global movement, where we'll have His Excellency Moses Ngandu leading the night with presidents. So right now we have Nigeria, we have the Congo, we also have Sierra Leone and other representatives in countries from the continent that will be coming to here, and then we'll have celebrity support. We're going to be honoring 16 celebrities.
Wow.
In reference to the 16 council seats that we have for their philanthropy work and contributions
You've been busy.
to the world.
Yeah.
Right? So I invite you guys to New York. It would be definitely something good for your show to cover. So you guys can come as my guests.
Wow.
Awesome invite.
Huge.
Yeah.
But it's something that it's not just about the Black culture, right? When you just look at it from the Black culture, you've missed the whole message. It's the humanitarian message, because everybody benefits from the continent of Africa
100%.
in some way.
100%.
Okay, and it's the motherland. It's where life's started from. So now the world has to turn back to say, okay, let's take care of this. This is a jewel,
Absolutely.
right? Just like you got jewels in Mexico, right? There's minerals in Mexico too. So it doesn't it starts with Africa, but once you can build a system, you can move this system all across the world and educating people, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think, like we said many times, man, I think however we can help and however we could do it, please help us get involved with it.
Absolutely.
I'd be more than happy to do it. And, they always say that when our youth pastor taught us that every day I have the choice to love my fiance, right? And with those words, I want to thank you for having that choice of not looking at color, just looking at everybody as a human.
Thank you.
Yeah, and that comes from me as a Latino telling you, thank you for taking care of. I was gonna say my people, but just people.
Yeah.
Especially where you were growing up in Santa Ana. Yeah. Like I appreciate that, and that's amazing. I thank you for making that choice, because you had a choice and you chose humanity.
Man, Santa Ana's been good to me. That's where I was born and raised, and it makes me who I am. So Santa Ana will always have a dear place in my heart, because that's my stomping grounds, right? And so Santalinos, we get down.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, so, man, I thank you guys just genuinely for having me on the show, and the importance of your show and what you allow leaders to do. And the title of your show is just, it's so fitting. And vision, visionaries, that it's about those visionaries of the world. And you guys are visionaries, man. And so the work that you're doing is so, so important. Because if you guys didn't make these platforms and bring on the right people, there's a lot of people doing what you're doing, right? But who's making a difference? And you guys are making a difference, man.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
Yeah,
it's refreshing hearing that from you, brother.
Thank you so much for that.
So thank you guys, man. And so we'll... the next time you see all three of us together, we'll be out serving. And my man behind our sound guy.
And Jordan.
We'll be out serving. So stay tuned. Some good stuff coming in.
Love that. We'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Sheesh,
fellas.
brother.
Perfect.
Goosebump Central.
Man.